Gratitude is simply the importance of being thankful. Gratitude requires reflection, stillness. In the 3 days I've been practicing it, I can't believe I haven't consistently done this before. So I'm going for consistency and being in the moment. So I'm trying to keep this super simple so that I will do my 30 days. Part of the reason I'm recording and sharing it and posting it is so that I will be consistent, so I can be accountable. And also, I want to build community and have as many of you join me as possible. So my first 3 days of gratitude, the first one I said I was thankful for being alive and enjoying the beautiful spring weather in Austin. Second, I was saying I was grateful for my coffee and drinking coffee out of the owl mug that my mom had given me as a gift. Third, I was thankful that my house didn't catch on fire, although I don't know if that palm tree is going to survive. You'll have to see the video. Go look at day 3 and you'll see my palm tree. So when I started my gratitude moment, maybe that's what I'll call it, my gratitude moment, I was able to calm my mind, which is something that's really hard for me to do. You know how people like to meditate? If I meditate or try to meditate, I fall asleep. I know that that's probably what I needed at the moment. But for me, trying to calm my brain is really challenging. So to start my practice, I just took a couple of breaths, and just doing that and starting with the intention of showing gratitude, I was able to calm my mind. This is something new. I kind of like this. I then listened to my breath, maybe a minute. I don't know how many breaths that was, but for maybe a minute, I stopped to think about what I was smelling. It was early in the morning. There was dew on the ground. You could still smell the trees. My trees are, leafing out right now. They're filling in. And there's a smell that goes with that. I could hear some bugs in the distance, and then I could hear my chickens in the distance. They were doing their egg song as they were starting to lay eggs that morning. I felt amazing going through this gratitude moment. Once I finished that, then I suddenly got nervous because I knew my next intention was to make a recording and post it. And for me, that is very nerve-wracking. I am not someone that interacts. I interact on social media, but I don't post on social media. But I know that as I continue to grow as an individual and grow my speech pathology business, I have to put myself out there to connect with more people, to build a community, to connect with stroke survivors and their families, to let the folks that I interact with in my business to know that they are not alone. I know that they're going through challenging times, tough times, and I'm going through challenging times, tough times. They may look very different, but they are still a challenge that needs to be overcome. So how did all of this even get started? I'm driving my youngest to her friend's house early Saturday morning. She and I frequently stop to smell the roses, is how I'll say it, because we admire the clouds and the trees and the flowers and the light. And that's just something she and I have always done. When she started driving 6 months ago, I cautioned her many a time, keep your eyes on the road, do not look at the clouds. You can look at the clouds when you come to a full and complete stop. So we had the sunroof open and we had the windows cracked, and it just smelled so amazing. And the light, it was like that perfect light that a photographer wants. It just lights everything up. The trees were glowing. It was amazing. Right now in Austin, it's wildflower season. So even the ugliest roadside areas are overflowing with bluebonnets and all sorts of wildflowers. So we pull into the neighborhood where I'm going to drop my kid for to hang out at a friend's. And the thought comes to me, well, now is as good a time as any to start recording. Not in the car. Yes, I've done that once, but not when driving, but to find a pretty spot in this neighborhood that's a very lush neighborhood, lots of beautiful mature oak trees. So I drop her off and then I start driving around looking for where's the light, where's a good looking tree, where can I park safe, not pulling off on the side of the road somewhere. And I found a spot. I'm going to back up even further. It was in the wee hours of the morning. The sun had not even started coming up yet when I woke up and was fully cognizant. And I knew, with it being April 1st, that I needed to start my gratitude practice. It's something I've always talked about doing, but I've never stuck with it consistently. And I thought, springtime, beautiful weather, wildflowers, growth on the trees. Now is the time to do it. My fear that I had to overcome was posting on social media. You're going to hear that from me a lot, but that is just my own personal challenge. I found that beautiful spot in the neighborhood and I spent some time trying to make a recording. I say trying because I went through several drafts. I realized, number one, I basically rolled out of bed to drive. I brushed my teeth though, at least that much. I put on glasses that I just saw today were actually dirty. Nice. That's super classy. And then I'm wearing one of my favorite distillery t-shirts, and I didn't really need to advertise their business. So hence why you see the video that I actually did record. But what I had to realize that in this moment of gratitude, in this moment of challenge, that because I was being thankful and showing gratitude, I was able to put on my big girl pants and shoot the video anyway, and to post the video. It's not going to be perfect. Do not expect perfection from me when it comes to these kinds of things. I fall back on the saying of progress, not perfection. I'm a perfectionist by nature. I like things to be just so, but the reality is I don't have the bandwidth or the time or the energy to work to that level. So progress, not perfection. So what have you had to do in your life that was a challenge? Something you had fear of starting. Something you had a fear of starting it because you didn't know where it was going to go. Did you have insecurity or embarrassment or shame? The folks I work with, the stroke survivors and their family, each go through dozens and dozens of challenges every week. Whether it's a survivor that has difficulty talking because he has aphasia or apraxia, and he's gone back to work and he now has to give this presentation, or he has to have, a tough conversation with his boss or with a customer. What does that feel like? Think of it from the perspective of someone who you don't get all your words out, or maybe your speech is a little slurred. How do they every day get up and face the world and take on these challenges of communication? We all take communication for granted. I know I do, and I'm in the business. What do our families go through at times? They have fear about how is their loved one going to be received when they're out in the community. Are people going to engage with their loved one, or are they going to be avoided? Are they going to be accepted, or are they going to be isolated? How do they manage getting in and out of the car, or getting up steps, or managing the wheelchair or the scooter or the walker? Stroke survivors and their families struggle with these challenges every day. They have fear, they have insecurity, they have embarrassment. When I think about it from their perspective, my fears are itty bitty, but yet they're big for me. What is your fear? What is it you need to accomplish? What is it you want to accomplish? I'm going to wrap this up by saying I would love to connect with you. I would love for you to join me on the next 27 days of gratitude. To that end, I put together a gratitude journal that I'm actually writing in myself. It's a PDF available for you if you'd like to have it. You don't need to have it. Something as simple as a note card, a scratch piece of paper. I am verbalizing my gratitude. I'm saying it out loud so that I am present and in the moment. And then I'm writing it down, just a quick sentence, just to document. I'm looking forward to going back to seeing, over the course of this month, what I've written down and where I think I'm going to get to, or where I got to over this month. I would love for you to interact with me on these. Well, this is a live, but as I'm posting each day, tell me what you're grateful for. Keep it simple. Focus on small wins, focus on consistency. Be thankful for something, like your coffee. You don't have to make a big deal out of this. If you would like a copy of the gratitude journal, send me a DM and I will be happy to send you the PDF. Wishing you an amazing day, and walk with me in this journey so we can all do more and do life.